Hey there guys, Matthew here from the Who Addicts and welcome to another video here on the channel. Now following the oh so shocking reveal that the Master is back in Spyfall. See what I did there? See right there? Oh, because that was his, yeah. No, that was, don't do that. No, just don't. Today I'm going to be running through the four Master reveals that we have had in the modern series. It's hard to believe that we've been treated to 4 incredible Master reveals in 15 years of modern Doctor Who. Doctor Who's been back for 15 years. David Tennant regenerated 10 years ago. The 50th was 7 years ago. But before I potentially regenerate myself due to the horror and realisation of how old I am, today I'm going to be running through the 4 regenerations and I guess putting together a little list of some sort where, you know, I'm not going to be ranking them because if you use the word ranking or list, Colin Baker's probably going to turn up and strangle me to death. But I'm just going to be talking through all 4 regenerations and basically doing them from worst to best. So it's basically it's a ranking, it's a list. It's a list and it's a ranking, alright? Alright, let's get started. So at number 4, I've got the return of John Simm's Master in World Enough and Time. Now for me personally, seeing John Simm come back as the Master was something I never ever thought we'd ever see. And he's a Master that will always resonate with me massively because the 10th Doctor's era and the Russell T Davies era were the era that I grew up in watching Doctor Who. It's the era that I will always remember the most, and he was the first Master, and seeing his dynamic and how he clashed with the 10th Doctor, that was one of my earliest memories of Doctor Who and one of my favourite Doctor-villain clashes that we saw on screen. So to see just John Simm's Master return was absolutely awesome. The only reason I think it's the lowest on this list is because, and it's not the BBC's fault, or was it the BBC's fault? Because they technically did a screening that let people see and potentially spoil it and all of that jazz. But whatever the hell happened, whoever the hell's to blame, it was that bloody press officer who leaked it, wasn't it? Yeah, you stupid press officer. Someone leaked it, and we basically knew that John Simm's Master was returning after episode 2, I think, or maybe episode 1. But it was unfortunately leaked for us, and I'm sure the BBC's aim was not for that to happen. So we always knew that at some point in the series, John Simm's Master would come back, and obviously as we headed towards the end of the series, because maths is a thing, you pretty much guessed that the probability of him appearing in the finale is rather high. So at the very end, obviously, when he takes off his mask and John Simm is there, there's obviously going to be a part of us that was like, we knew that was coming, but still, that's only about 5%. The other 95% of me lost my mind. It was an awesome reveal, and I'll be honest, I was an idiot, despite should have been able to see it coming. I was so engrossed in the episode at the time, I didn't actually realise who he was until he said, former Prime Minister, and I was like, of course. Despite the fact that it was leaked, despite the fact that, you know, it could have been kept a secret and it would have been so much more epic. Can you imagine how awesome it would have been if it just hadn't been spoiled? It'd have been awesome. It was still an absolutely amazing reveal, and it led to a fantastic finale with a great dynamic and chemistry between Missy and the Master. Seeing 2 Masters together was unbelievable, and just to see John Simm's Master back, like I said, was awesome. So yeah, in itself, as a reveal, absolutely epic. The only downside is, of course, it was spoiled and we knew it was coming. At number 3, I've got Missy's reveal in Dark Water. Now again, this wasn't, I guess it wasn't spoilt, but you could pretty much tell that she was going to become the Master. And again, the reveal in itself was absolutely awesome. And the reveal, every single reveal we've had have all been absolutely amazing. They've all been executed well. I'll give credit to every single one for how it was directed, how they were all scripted, the music as well in every single one of them was awesome. Not one of these Master reveals has been even slightly weak in any way. They've all been awesome. I guess the difference is the context between them. And, you know, in this one, obviously, Missy was appearing sporadically throughout Series 8, so you knew she was a mysterious character, but I still never quite was sure that she was the Master. Obviously, people were putting one and one together in Missy, Mistress, Master. It's not rocket science, but still, despite pretty much having an inkling that she was going to be, it still was an absolutely awesome reveal. And I think the biggest thing to take away from this was that it proved that in the show, in canon, on screen, Doctor Who wasn't afraid to change a Time Lord's gender. And I think without this moment, it might not have paved the way, and Jodie Whittaker might not be the 13th Doctor. We still might have, went by the status quo, could have had male Masters, could still have male Doctors. And I think this was a huge moment, and I feel stupid for not putting it in my recent video on the most pivotal moments in the last decade, because it was one, and I should have really mentioned it, but it certainly paved the way and changed Doctor Who in a very, very positive way, and I don't think Doctor Who would be what it is today without that reveal, so that in itself was epic. As was the reveal and how it was executed. It was fantastic, and it proven that even though she was a different gender, in seconds, I looked at Missy, I believed she was the Master in her actions, her voice, how she spoke, how she looked. It was absolutely awesome. And, Missy's tenure wasn't without its issues. She was a bit too flirtatious at times, and that side of her character was very Moffat. But in the end, I thought Missy had a great character arc. She was a great Master. And her reveal at the end of Series 8, despite us having a slight inkling that it was going to be her, was awesome. Part of me wishes, to this day still, a little bit of me, that it was the Rani, but nevertheless, Missy made a great Master. At number 2, it's Sasha Dowan's reveal in Spyfall. Now, the reason why this is at number 2 is simply because of the shock factor. I don't care what people say. I don't care how clever people want to make themselves sound, to make them sound like some sort of soothsayer, that they saw it coming. No one saw this coming. And there was not a single Doctor Who fan whose jaw didn't hit the floor when they saw Sasha Dowan reveal himself as the Master. And that was the best part about it. Unlike the Missy reveal, where there was an intriguing, mysterious part of her character, you could tell she had some sort of power, you could tell she was different, and that she was going to be someone quite huge. John Simm we could see coming, but about this one, O was a very likeable character. He was likeable. He didn't seem to have a bad bone in his body, and I honestly, genuinely was hoping he was sticking. Throughout the episode, I was hoping that he was going to become a permanent member, or at least, a temporary member of the TARDIS team for the next few episodes, because I really liked his character. But the reveal, and that's what made it even better, because you went from liking him, thinking he was harmless, he was just an MI6 agent, to him being the Master. Like that. The way that it changed and flipped in a second, it's not like there was a big build-up, it's not like there were hints or indicators. Yes, small things when you look back, such as having all of these books about the Doctor, acting a bit giddy and strange around the Doctor at times, having technology in his ranch that was far beyond even what MI6 would have. The signs were there, yes, but it wasn't even properly hinted at until it was revealed in that moment, and the shock factor was huge, and I've never been so shocked in a single moment to see the Master than what I was in Spyfall. I thought it was absolutely amazing. Doctor Who's not shocked me like that in a very, very long time, and I'm so excited to see where we go with Sasha Dowan's Master. It was an amazing, amazing reveal. Big congratulations to Chibnall for keeping it a secret as well. And I'm really excited to see where the 13th Doctor and the Master, still can't believe I'm saying that, go in Series 12. But my favourite Master reveal is Derek Jacobi's Master in Series 3. And the reason for that is because I think this regeneration is almost like an amalgamation of the other three put together in one. I thought it had the shock factor because it was the return of the Master for the first time, and that's the key, the first time in the modern series. But as well as that, it also had the clever build-up and the culmination in such an ingenious way, and of course it wasn't spoiled because no one saw it coming. I wish that I could remember my reaction, because I'm sure as an 11-year-old fan at the time, I probably didn't understand and appreciate it as much as I would do now, but looking back, how it was done by Russell T Davies was perfection. Like I say, the shock of the Master being back, I'm sure back then for classic fans, modern fans who knew about him, would have been huge, because it was the first time he was back in the modern series. But in the way that the Master come back, in how, again, a likeable character like Professor Yana, a bit like Ooooooohhhh, suddenly turned to being evil, was amazing. How his name linked back to the "You Are Not Alone" line by the face of Bo, which seemed like a passing line in Gridlock, was absolutely epic. And of course it also went back to the Family of Blood 2 part with the Doctor and Time Lords turning human with the fob watch. And I just thought, you know, Russell could have just revealed the Master in a moment, but he chose to use different tiny little pieces of story throughout Series 3, and not only did it have the shock factor of the Master appearing, but it also put together the pieces in your mind of the Doctor being human, Professor Yana, You Are Not Alone, and it all just led to this explosion in our heads when he did reveal himself, and Derek Jacobi's acting in that moment was outstanding. What more can you want? The Master's first action when he's back is to kill someone. He said his name and he killed someone. It was absolutely awesome. I just feel like that reveal in Utopia had every single aspect of all the other regenerations. It had the shock factor of Sasha Dowan's Master's reveal. It had the slight build-up of the Missy reveal using little parts of the series previously, although this was in a more cleverer way. And it also had an absolutely outstanding cliffhanger straight after it, like John Simm's reveal in World Enough and Time. So for me, they're all epic, they're all awesome, but it was the reveal in Utopia that is my favourite Master reveal of the modern series. So then guys, there you have it, my little video on, all the Master reveals we've had in the modern series of Doctor Who. So if you've enjoyed this video, do hit that like button. Of course, do subscribe to the channel for much more Doctor Who content to come. We are reviewing every single episode of Series 12 right here on The Who Addicts. Hit the bell to be notified when we upload every single video. And yeah, most importantly, comment in the section below what your thoughts are on this video and what your favourite Master reveal is of the modern series and why. And until next time, guys, I'll be back, or will be back, in the review of Spyfall Part 2 on Sunday night. But until then, thank you guys very much for watching. See you next time.